And now, to bring us the AI and the future of media and advertising, we have the Chief Insights Officer at Group 9. If you don't recognize Group 9, you probably recognize their properties. The Dodo, Now This, Thrillist, and Seeker. He also currently holds the title of Executive in Residence at Lair Hippo. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ashish Patel, everyone. Ashish.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good morning. So I'm Ashish Patel. I'm the Chief Insights Officer of Group 9 Media. Bit of a unique title. We're definitely trying to make it a thing in the media space. But it just goes to kind of speak to what we're obsessed about at Group 9 and what I do and my team does every day, which is really digging into understanding how our audience is engaging with our content and trying to translate those consumption signals into meaningful, actionable insights for our content creators and distributors. Group 9 is a holdings company that was founded a little over 2 years ago through the merger of 4 brands. Now This, the Dodo, Thrillist, and Seeker. In aggregate, over time, we've leveraged our data and insights to help optimize our content, to continuously engage audiences, to push us into the position of one of the most visited digital companies in the world. That's not just media. We're talking about with the likes of Instagram, Yahoo, Facebook, et cetera. Every single day, about 45 million Americans see our content, whether that's checking in on the day's events and current issues with Now This, getting recommendations on food, drink, travel, and entertainment from Thrillist, taking a break to explore the relationship between humans and their effect on, animals and their effect on humanity through the Dodo, or educating yourself more on STEM through Seeker. But every single day, we see about 45 million people coming to view our content in a social location. And that's a lot of information to process. It equates to about 160 million views per day and 100 million minutes spent with us. Our company, we consider ourselves a distributed media company, and we're built for a new media reality. Specifically, a new media reality that has exploded because of the rise of this technology, the mobile phone. So over the last 10 years, the rise of mobile has led to I can't say it, to an explosion, let's go with that one, to an explosion of locations where users can consume, find, and engage with content. So paired with the rise of mobile is the rise of social. And really, it's distributed our audience as a media company, an audience as an advertiser, to so many locations that's unprecedented. We've seen disruption like this in mass media in the past. Think about radio to television. More recently, which we can all probably remember, is the rise of cable TV in the 80s. That made it a little bit more challenging to find your audience and locate them and understand how to reach those people. But today, the ecosystem has completely exploded, and there's hundreds and hundreds of places where you could put your content, put your advertising, and find audiences. Our goal as a distributed media company is to take content to where users are spending their time in their social feeds directly and not bring them back to our owned and operated properties. But with any rise of a new technological medium, there arises a lot of opportunity. So today we're sitting on unprecedented levels of data and feedback from our audiences. If you think about television, it's no longer the case where you have to sit back and wait. You air a show, you wait for ratings, you wait for consumer feedback. You're seeing that feedback on social. You're seeing what people are doing in real time. People are voting with their feet all day, every day. And it's a lot of information to process to make it leverageable. So our prediction on the next 10 years is that to handle all of this information, we're going to need some help. And we're going to need some help from AI systems. So we predict in the next 10 years, we're going to see a meaningful increase of the implementation of AI in media specific to content creation. Second to that, that initially these systems are not going to be perfect. AI is not that intelligent yet in the media context, and we think that there's going to be a lot of risk factors early on that is going to make it a little bit noisier in the near future. And thirdly, we believe that the brands and advertisers that understand that you can leverage this information responsibly are the ones that are going to succeed. So AI today is being leveraged in media in a multitude of use cases, but the one use case that I think all of us will relate to the most is in recommendations. So if you think about Netflix, the Netflix recommendation algorithm recommends something for you to watch based on what you've seen before. Think about Facebook. Facebook is a further step beyond that in the sense that Facebook looks at what you've consumed, what your friends have consumed, what other people in general are consuming, and they use that as logic to show you something that they think that you'll be interested in. But AI is still really in a nascent phase. Where we're seeing more adoption today currently is around content automation. We're seeing companies like Microsoft and the Modern Journalism Project work with newsrooms to ingest and read tons and tons of documents to pull out pertinent information for reporters so they don't have to read and process that themselves. Google has recently invested nearly $1 million in the Press Institute's efforts to build automated articles based on other source data. There's other use cases, specifically on the startup side. I have a dual role where I work with a venture capital fund. We're seeing a lot of interesting companies out of Israel that are doing text-to-video creation, enter in a full script, enter in text. This system will find imagery and material that correlates to that text and automatically produce a video. And also a lot of text to audio. A lot of text to audio conversion is being adopted in the marketplace. You see NPR, Washington Post, other groups like that using text to audio, feeding in articles to an engine that spits out a more semantic version for podcasts, for Alexa, et cetera. And then on the very forefront of this is fully automated, fully computer-generated content. So Xinhua News Agency in China recently released a fully AI English news anchor. This anchor is based on one of their existing anchors and uses their likeness and footage to automatically translate Mandarin news content into English. We're seeing companies like Brood in LA, very interesting creative company, creating virtual influencers on Instagram that have millions of followers that are doing brand deals, selling ad spots, but still very much in its infancy today. So as I mentioned, we anticipate a lot of risk factors as AI starts to enter the media space, and really more specifically around some of these questions of automated content creation. The first risk factor that we anticipate, though, is really around bias, right? AI systems are programmed by humans. A human programmer tells the system what to look for, what to value. So, if I say that I only want to see, I value video of men higher than video of women, that system is going to value video of men more than women. The bias can lead to unintended outcomes, like what we've seen kind of recently through Facebook and the 2016 election, with effectively two massive thought bubbles based on the Facebook algorithm showing you more stuff that you engage with, essentially positively reinforcing your worldview to a point where it's kind of hard to see any other perspective. So from a media perspective, from an advertising perspective, beyond the societal risk of that behavior, it's a little bit scary when you think about the fact that it's harder to penetrate through these conversation bubbles. Secondarily, when it comes to automated content creation, there's a real fear with commoditization, right? So if you have a lot of systems basing and creating content based on past experience and past behavior, does it eventually optimize to some sort of average of those things? Are you going to have breakout hits, breakout pieces of IP like Game of Thrones if our process is really around only using the past? Thirdly, trust is going to be an issue. As a consumer, how do you know what created the content that you're viewing? Was it a system? Was it an imperfect system? Is the person you're seeing a computer graphic or a real human? And as an advertiser, how do you know what you're running against? Are you running against content that's been created by people? Is it a system that might have not brand safe imagery that could enter? So we anticipate a lot of risk factors early on as AI starts to proliferate in the market. So at Group 9, our approach has really been around understanding what decisions AI should make and understanding where it should stop. There's a great example that's spoken about when you talk about AI around a paper. Imagine a company and the company makes paper clips. The goal is for this system to maximize paper clips, and you give it the ability and the tools to effectively do anything it wants to create those paper clips. Well, if that's the only goal it understands, is that system going to start taking our water and trying to turn it into aluminum to build paper clips without thinking about the effect to us humans and other life forms? It's potential. So for us, it's really understanding the context in which AI should be leveraged and where it shouldn't. And where we've decided to effectively draw the line is around human creativity. As AI in general, outside of media, proliferates, what is really proprietary to us, it is that new concept, that new idea, and that's something that we really want to protect from a media perspective. So at Group 9, we're working on a system called GIA, the Group 9 Insights Analyst, that is meant to act as a creative tool, not as a creative replacement. If I'm being totally honest here, this does kind of optimize out some analysts on my team, but we're really trying to make sure that we're trying to build tools that help a human creative understand all of the action on the stories that they tell and how to improve the stories that they already want to tell. It's never about telling a creative what to make. It's about giving them information on how to enhance that process. GIA is an attempt to automate our manual optimization process, which is a little bit nuanced compared to the rest of the media industry. Most of our competitors spend a lot of time looking at their top performing content, their viral hits, and take a lot of time trying to replicate them. We simply believe that virality is not a strategy. It's not replicable. It's far too variable to repeat. So our focus is really on trying to understand the bottom of the stack, what really didn't resonate, what didn't work, and trying to optimize that out. So my team will look for a data pattern or a correlation in the low performing content. We'll then sit with creators. Historically, we would have sat with creators, watched those videos or read those articles, and try to anticipate the reasons that a user didn't engage with it. Now, the scale that we're at today, we're creating over 200 plus video or visual assets, about 20 plus written articles on a daily basis. It's not feasible to process this with humans. It's just not fast enough. Quite frankly, it's not accurate enough. So the system that we're building combines consumption, API access to all the social platforms where we distribute, pulling in time series consumption data in real time, where on our side, we've created a computer vision layer to watch these videos and effectively tell us what's happening on screen when we see consumption blips. In aggregate, the goal is to help our producers drive more impactful stories based on the ideas that they already have. So I'm going to show you a bit of a reel here that walks through the process. So a producer can enter in a goal, whether that's create new content or optimize existing content. They enter in what their goal is. That could be a topic they want to speak about, a platform they want to write for, an audience they want to speak to. Our NLP system interprets that into a set of content tags that a user can explore. And our goal is to then comb through our massive amount of consumption data and information to give our content creators a recommendation on how to best position the story that they want to tell. So the types of recommendations that we can make today are based more around packaging elements. What are the right formats for the platforms that you want to speak to? What is the right template? Is it a mini documentary versus a short form video? What are related topics that could help enhance what you're trying to talk about? Ideal lengths, ideal aspect ratios, but really around how to best frame your story, not what to make in general. So a user creates a video through our system, through recommendations in our system. We're then able to allow the user to create headlines, optimize their headlines, and then upload their video where we can predict points of potential drop-off. Again, we're really not trying to have this system create content in general. We want this system to help enhance our creatives and the work that they do every day. A few use cases that we've had from our AI explorations. So again, informing creative. We have so much reach against so many people on a monthly basis across dozens of categories. If an advertiser wants to target an audience, if we want to speak to an audience, we've seen that audience before, and there's leverageable signals that we can use. Retention prediction is massive for us. Again, it's really a tool for our creators to understand potential points of problems, potential points where they can jump in and optimize. And lastly, what we're working on is trying to understand the audiences that will best react to the content that we just created and the best pathways to reach them. So running at the end of my time here, I just want to emphasize that one of the reasons that we've kind of drawn a line in the sand on where we think AI and automation should stop and where humans should take precedence is this notion that we hold very dearly internally, that context is king. That users are on different platforms for a multitude of different reasons. They're on Facebook for a different reason than Twitter, Snapchat for a different reason than Instagram. They're sitting on their couch watching television for a different reason that they go to the movies. We really need to understand those contexts to communicate with these audiences. We can't have a one-size-fits-all, create an asset and chop it up in a bunch of different locations. And we just don't believe that AI systems can understand this contextual appropriateness yet. Do we think we'll get there? We're not exactly sure, but we know that at least in the next 10 years, we want to focus on championing human creativity while enhancing it through artificial intelligence. So thank you for your time. And please feel free to find me around the conference.